Doing a little late night broadcast. It's funny. You take a little nap and it turns into a big sleep. So we won't let that stop us. We're doing a podcast, a video live stream a day until we reach our goals. And how do we get to our goals? How do you be convincing in saying what it is you've got to say? Well, the good news is there's a formula. We're gonna take a look at that formula created by Oren Klaff. My man Oren is right here. Let's give it up. And this is how he prepares for a pitch, a podcast, a presentation. No matter what it is, this is the 3-step formula. Prepare for a pitch or interview in less than 7 minutes. Let's check this out.
Hey, here's a slightly mean but very honest question for you. Imagine you're on a big media podcast interview for 30 minutes, and let's say it's Terry Gross or Joe Rogan or Oren Klaff interviewing you right now. How much of that interview would actually be interesting and compelling to listeners? How compelling would you be? Would you be compelling for 12 minutes, for 5 minutes, or just 2 minutes? Don't be embarrassed to look in the mirror and give yourself the real answer. My first podcast interview, I nailed maybe 2 minutes. It was a bomb. Correction, I was a bomb and not the good kind, right? What about today? Bring it on. Any interview, any pitch, any time. I'll light the microphone on fire for 30 minutes straight, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Nonstop, I'll deliver interesting, compelling, unique infotainment. But how? Through the formulas that I've learned over time. Formulas that turn basic, boring information into compelling insight for any listener. Here's one of my basic formulas, right? Setup, intrigue, reveal. Because of this single formula, so many times I've heard, Oren, that was the best interview we've ever had on our podcast. Of course it was. The formula does the hard work. So you probably want to know, what's in these grayed out areas? Here, you need to say very specific things in each stage of the formula. I've told you this many times before if you've been following my videos. What I say in each section lets me hop on any broadcast, any pitch, and nail it. But this next thing I have not shared with you. I have a method for preparing, the kind of rapid preparation work that makes the formula work. Setup, intrigue, reveal. We have to get that to work, but we have to prepare for it. So I never wing it. I prepare in advance. Doesn't matter if it's NPR, CNBC, Harvard Business Review, a private equity fund, or just if I have to go on my friend's new podcast about baseball statistics. Really crappy podcast. 17 listeners. I had to go on it because I owed him one. Well, I don't spend a lot of time on prep, but even for a 17 listener crappy podcast, I do all the homework necessary. Oh, sure, let's be realistic here. If it's $1 billion deal, I'm doing this.
All right. I love it. If it's $1 billion deal, he's doing that. So Oren goes on, and he goes on to talk about how he's going to teach this formula, and he's got a master class where he invites you to sign up. So we'll take it from here, and we're going to talk about this 3-step formula, the setup, the intrigue and the reveal. So the first part, and see what's going on here is Oren is a big believer in looking at the way the brain works and setting up your presentation to not fight against the way the brain works, but to dance in harmony to the way the chemistry and the regions of the brain are designed. And so, what he proposes is to set up a situation where you are able to create a cocktail in the brain of norepinephrine and dopamine. So if you can get in the brain the fight or flight chemistry along with the elixir of delight chemistry, you've done your job. You have the attention of the people that are listening to you. And in this video, he proposes this 3-step process setup. All right. What's happening in the industry that is causing big problems and why those problems aren't going away. All right. Winter is coming. This is what Oren says all the time. When you start out your pitch, whatever it is, winter is coming. You gotta prepare. Something really intense is happening in the marketplace. Different forces, different political dramas, different things are happening, and you need to prepare. Number 2, you probably thought the fix was this, but really it's something totally different. So you're not doing anything super magical, right? You're just coming at it in a way that's different than how everybody else has been doing it. So it's a problem. It's there. Everybody knows it. And so your thing isn't necessarily revolutionary. It's just outside the box. Outside the box. So, and he talks about this a lot. Outside the buy box. All right? So, was Rocky revolutionary? It was not necessarily revolutionary. It was just a great story that was outside of the buy box. Same thing with Star Wars. Was it revolutionary? It's kind of like a Western, with aliens. Was it revolutionary? Maybe, but it's still just a movie with storyline, actors, cameras, a little bit of special effects. So it wasn't necessarily revolutionary. It was just outside of the buy box. So what you're proposing is not something so totally weird that it's beyond comprehension. It's just out of the buy box, and that's what creates the intrigue, and that's number 2. So first, you have to create that chemistry of fear. This is what's happening. This is the big problem. All right, this is what's going on. Winter is coming. Second, You have to get into the frame that what you're proposing is not some of this, crazy thing that's never ever been done before. You're just out of the buy box. You're coming at it at a different way. You're coming in at a unique sort of angle. Many of the same elements that have been used before in other situations, but you're combining them, and you've got the network or the processes that you're going to attack this big problem in a unique and intriguing way. So now you have the chemistry of norepinephrine, the fight or flight chemical. Then second, you're creating intrigue. Like, what the heck's going on? Oren Klaff talks about getting these boxes from Amazon, and there's the box, and you're like, what the heck did I order again? Did I order this really cool thing that I saw? What's inside this box? What's inside this box? Then you open it up, and it's toothpaste. And the point he's making is that feeling of intrigue has so much emotion, which equals to so much chemistry in the brain, that you have to get that sensation of fear, intrigue, and then you bring it home with how your product or service solves these problems. And then you bring in the and that's all the way at the end of the presentation. So he says, your presentation is mostly front-end loaded with this compelling, emotional story. And this is what he says, how he prepares for everything from his friend's 17 people podcast. I had to do it for a favor, man. Or if he's working on a $1 billion deal, he's going to use that same 3-step process. But it's going to look like this, right? So it's going to really front end load it with the best storytelling, the best facts, the figures, and to be totally super ready and super prepared. Setup number 1, what's happening in the industry that is causing big problems? Winter is coming. Winter is coming. You probably thought it was this fix. Everybody's approaching it from this way, but we're coming at it like this. All right? And then the third is the reveal. Look, this is how we get it done. All right? Okay. Midnight broadcast. That wasn't too bad, was it? All right. So, what we'll be doing in that 3-step formula is, let's see if we got it here. Let's welcome to the broadcast the fabulous, the gorgeous Marilyn Monroe. So this is a painting, all right? So we're gonna be on it's a painting, it's an NFT. This here is my logo. This is gold leaf. This is my logo. It's meant to represent an open door because we're at the dawn of a new golden age. All right, let's give it up. And then this is the spot down here where I write my name and date and so on. And up there goes the name of the person who sponsored this NFT. And so this painting will turn into an NFT. Let's see. There we go. All right. Isn't she pretty? And she's holding a beloved little pug given to her by, I believe, her Actors Studio teacher, which she had a tremendous affection for. And Marilyn Monroe is famous for saying, "Dogs never bite me, only humans." So, we're on a mission, a MAGA mission, make art great again. And we're going to use this frame of images that are paintings, NFTs, and murals to propose an international campaign, an international fight against anti-Semitism and the celebration of American Judeo-Christian culture. Come on. Let's get up a boom for that. All right. So that's what's on the horizon. Yeah, isn't she pretty? And what does Marilyn Monroe have to do with the Jewish culture? And that's a very great question. She became Jewish to marry Arthur Miller. And also, she was part of a golden age of cinema that exported inclusion and diversity themes and sensibilities through the silver screen, exported to a worldwide audience. Like Some Like It Hot. Come on. Some Like It Hot. Puritan Christian movie producers or fundamentalist Islamic executives could have, and still today, would never have funded a movie like Some Like It Hot. It's just not part of the culture. But for the Jewish culture that has inclusion and diversity sort of baked into the cake, baked into the bagel, I guess you could say, it was a done deal. And so you see these themes of inclusion and diversity in Golden Age cinema before Israel was a state. And so much more. I wasn't planning to do such a long podcast this late, but here it is. All right. So we're going to be using this 3-step process intrigue, and reveal to get our Make Art Great Again campaign, to get it off the ground and to pitch it like a pro, which is what we know how to do. All right. Thanks, Marilyn. It was great seeing you. Thanks, everybody. It was great seeing you as well. Tomorrow's Friday. All right. So we'll be kicking it again tomorrow and seeing what's up. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. Au revoir.